Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, and I'm glad you're here. Red Mic messages are the leadership and life lessons picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mike message, faith and patience. Back to John Wooden's pyramid. Along the sides are two pillars, faith and patience. So faith and patience. Without those two structural components, the entire structure wobbles. You got to have faith, a belief that the hard work, the grind, the process is going to pay off. You got to have faith in yourself. You got to have faith. For me, it's faith in God. Have faith in some sort of higher power. I'm not here to proselytize. I'm here to try to help. But for me, it's faith in God. It's a faith that it's gonna be better. You're gonna end up on the right path. And that's even if you can't see the results. Patience is understanding that anything worth building is going to take some time. Now, if you're a regular listener, you've heard me talk about some of the modernization projects that I've been part of. Some of them took years, systems that people wanted fixed overnight or that needed to be fixed very quickly. Lasting change doesn't happen quickly. You got to have faith in the process and patience with the grind. One of the projects I was involved in took 3 different contractors, and both of the first 2 delivered products that didn't work. And if we had stayed that course, they would have ended up costing significantly more than the initial cost of work. There's a new idea in government um, about efficiency, about making sure that it works, making sure that it's a good use of dollars. And some people say it's just, window dressing on an old idea, and maybe so. When I worked for Carol Strayhorn decades ago, it's been literally more than 20 years ago that I worked for her when I was at the comptroller. She had an idea that she called e-Texas. Now, that was back in the day where, everything either had an E in front of it or an I in front of it. But it was an idea, basically, it was the same sort of idea as Al Gore's reinventing government. Carol called it her Yellow Pages test. Her idea was government shouldn't be doing something if there are providers in the Yellow Pages. And by the way, for you young people, Yellow Pages were an actual hard copy book that had business listings, and they were on yellow paper. That's why we called them Yellow Pages. That's where we would go before we, got so used to using the internet for everything that we actually had a book that we looked through to find business listings. Anyway, Carol had her Yellow Pages test, and her whole idea there was if there was a business in the Yellow Pages that could do the same job for the same price or better, then why was government doing it? So whether you call it e-Texas or reinventing government or Doge, these are ideas that have been around for a long time. So that was the mindset that I had when I dove into this ridiculously flawed process. Is it working? Are you getting deliverables? Are they on budget? And none of those were true. The deliverables didn't work. They were going to cost us a lot more in the long run. So effectively, I fired those contractors and got our money back. We ended up finding a third contractor who was perfect for the job. The deliverables were on time, they were on budget, and they worked. So going back to the drawing board was the right thing to do. A contract should be accurate. The end product, the time frame, the projected costs, they should all be what is on the paper. And unfortunately, I've seen products on projects I didn't oversee go over budget, take longer than they were expected, and in the end, you ended up with a product that really didn't work right. Same thing happens in sports. You don't You don't win a season in you don't win a season in one practice. You got to stack those small improvements day after day, month after month. I always found the kids who trusted the process and kept showing up and putting in the work, they were the ones who grew into leaders. Now, sometimes the kid who complained the most in the preseason about being tired or sore, but kept grinding anyway, they would turn into a team leader and they didn't know it was coming. You've got to put in the hard work. You've got to have the patience and the faith in the process. You got to have the faith in the coaches. You got to have a faith in the system. You've got to have a faith in yourself. Faith and patience are the quiet qualities, but they're the stabilizing qualities. They don't grab headlines, but if you don't have faith, if you don't have patience, the rest of it just ain't going to cut it. You're going to have a wobbly structure and it's not going to last. So hold fast, trust the process, have patience. Success is not an accident. It's built brick by brick with those stabilizing factors alongside to help you grow. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you'll give me a like, a follow, and a share. I hope you're able to put these things into practice in your own life. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Happy Tuesday. Basically, it's Monday, right? But it's a short week. So smile. Get out there, knock the cover off the ball. You can do this. I know you can. I'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, life is short. Drink the bourbon. See ya.